What is up, everyone? It's Blue King over here today, and I'm back with another What If. Today's What If is, what if Frieza raised Goku? Now let's get right into it. Goku would be going to Earth. Then Frieza sees a space pod flying away while he's destroying Planet Vegeta. He thought the Saiyan must be flying away. But then he throws the ball and he tells Zarbon to go and get that instantly. Zarbon runs and goes and grabs it, taking it to Frieza. Frieza says, a Saiyan. I should kill him. Then Zarbon decides to give Frieza an idea. Why doesn't Frieza train him to go against the other people? Or perhaps, if some Saiyans are still alive, against some other Saiyans. Frieza thinks about it and says, okay. Tells Zarbon and Dodoria to train this kid. Zarbon and Dodoria train Goku for 20 years of his life. Goku becomes a warrior. And he has a power level of 28,000. By the end of the training, I would say 28,000 would be his gi, or his power. His key and power would be 26,000. Nobody thought that Goku could pull it off, but he ended up doing it. I guess he ended up looking exactly like Bardock. Because of the fight scenes, he would have become basically Bardock. So if he's Bardock, I guess he's the Saiyan of the Saiyans. So yeah. Something else that happens is that Goku is basically super strong. He has a power level of 28,000, and he's insane. So, yeah. Other than that, Goku is the most powerful being. Now, Frieza didn't know a name for this kid, and remembers he looks exactly like the one Saiyan that was trying to fight him. Frieza tries to remember his name. Oh yeah, it started with a B. Bardock? Bardock, yeah. Cause Zarbon and Dodoria fought him, but he escaped somehow. Bardock 2.0, Frieza called him. So it's basically Bardock. Everybody is in shock. When Raditz saw Goku, he thought it was Bardock, his father. But then Goku went close to them and said, hey, Saiyans, do you want to join me? The Saiyans look at Goku or Bardock and say, Dad? Raditz says, what are you saying? Bardock asks, you're my dad. You look exactly like him. I'm not your father, kid. Look, I was found by Frieza. I was heading to a planet called Earth. My father's name was Bardock. He sent me away. My mother and father are my mother is Yine and my father is Bardock. how I was going to a planet called Earth, but I never made it because Frieza stopped me. Then Raditz realizes this is his little brother, Kakarot. Then Raditz says, Kakarot? Goku says his name is not Kakarot anymore. His new name is Bardock. Raditz respects that and says, okay, Bardock. Bardock was super strong, way stronger than them. And they decided to have a little army, rebelled army against Frieza. Bardock one day defeats both Zarbon and Dodoria. Not at the same time, but beats them both. And then Zarbon goes full power in his form, putting his power level at 30,000. Starts to beat on Bardock because Zarbon was 2,000 stronger than Bardock. They beat each other up, and Zarbon wins in the end. Bardock is put in a healing tank, and he gets healed, coming out with a power level of 32,000. He fights Zarbon again and beats him this time. Then looks at Dodoria, kicks him up in the air, and punches him down, beating Dodoria as well. He feels this power inside of him. He tells them to give him all their ki and power. They do. And Bardock feels this big boost in power. He just got 42,000 in his 32. If my maths are correct, that's 74,000. Because of all that ki and power that they gave Bardock, they fall to the ground. And both their powers are 21,000 both. Well, Zarbon's power level is 21,000, and Dodoria's power is 20,000. Or 20,000, yeah, 20,000 and a half. But just for the matters, Bardock would have 32,000 and a half, so it makes it 42,000 plus 32,000 and a half. Or 41,000 and a half and plus 32,000 and a half. Get it? Yeah, basically, Bardock is so strong now. And he tells them thank you. They say you're welcome. Bardock says if they want to do that again, to boost him up in power, they say sure. They were rebelling against Frieza. So it was Raditz, Nappa, Bardock, Vegeta, Zarbon, and Dodoria. At one point, Nappa, Raditz, and Vegeta decide to take hands together and put Nappa and Raditz put their hands behind Bardock's back. None of them had God Ki, but something happened. Instead of the ritual, Bardock gets God Ki. Because it's kind of like the ritual. They don't have all 6 Saiyans, but it's half. So Bardock ends up getting God Ki. And yeah, how you know God Ki is broken in it's broken in DBS. So it's gonna be broken here as well. Yeah, basically, then Zarbon and Dodoria give Bardock his power, and the 3 Saiyans give Bardock their power. Then everybody goes to heal. The Saiyans get Zenkais. Bardock's insanely powerful right now because of God Ki and everybody's power, and because of training. 2 years passed. Bardock is 22 years old and has a power of 10 million. Everybody's in shock. Bardock had learned a new form, Ikari. Nobody, I'm telling you, nobody thought that Bardock was this strong. That Bardock had it into him. Bardock had completed Mastery Kari. And this is a 100 times boost instead of a 10 times boost. 100 times 12 million this time. My good friend is 1.2 billion. Bardock breaks everything in the ship, going to Frieza, and then looks at Frieza and punches Frieza in the guts, telling him he was never Frieza's soldier, then punching him in the face. And while Bardock's little fist is in Frieza's face, he says he's the one that blew up Planet Vegeta, punching Frieza up in the air, then going on top of Frieza. You are the one that killed my mother and dad and father, punching Frieza down the ground. Then Bardock charges up a blast in his hand, going on the ground with Frieza. And then he says, you are the one that ruined my life, firing the blast at Frieza and erasing him for good. Bardock did it. Everybody looks at him in shock. They were free. Everybody goes to the home planet. Everybody's free. But the Saiyans look at Bardock. What will they do now? They can't do anything, really. Bardock says, when he was out, he went to Earth one day, his own planet. They can go stay there for a while. They go, Bardock marries a girl named Bulma, because they had a connection when Bardock first came to Earth. But before he married Bulma, he had to defeat every single King Piccolo soldier. And then King Piccolo, he defeats them with a finger. Then, because he saved the world, he was a hero, and Bulma marries him after. The Raditz would live with Bardock, and they would train together in the room that Bulma originally made for Vegeta. And Bardock eventually gets Super Saiyan. Yes, I know it's not canon, but it works. Eventually, time passes and Bardock becomes stronger. Future Trunks arrives after a year of Frieza's defeat and tells Bardock about the androids. But before he tells him, isn't this Goku's father? Or is this Goku? Because maybe this is a different timeline, or Goku just has a scar in this timeline. Kind of like Gohan, you know? He introduced himself as Trunks, secretly talking to Bardock. And Trunks asks, why do you have a scar? And why are you wearing this hideous gi? Are you not Goku? Goku. My Saiyan name is Kakarot. 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 Trunks shouts. That is Gohan's dad name. It's a Saiyan name. Your real name when you on Earth is Goku. Well, I was going to go to Earth, but Frieza found out about me. He named me Bardock after the name of my father. My father actually named me Kakaroto, or Kakarot, but I never got to enjoy them. The people called me Kakarot. I only enjoyed them calling me Bardock, not Kakarot. I'm going to stop with that accent now. Trunks looked at Bardock and says, yeah, well, in 3 years, some deadly androids will arrive. Because I see you're stronger, I'll train with you for 3 years. Everybody gangs up. Even Zarbon and Dodoria come around. Everybody goes to train together. Bardock requests the hyperbolic time chamber. One day outside, when you're inside. So they decide to be 3 days, to stay 3 years inside. Well, basically 3 days out and 3 years in. But that can't happen. That is what Kami said. So they can only stay 2 days instead of 3. Bardock agrees and says fine. First is Bardock and Raditz. Gohan is born, but he's still young, somewhere to 5 years old. So he can't train. Well, he does train, but is not on the level of them. Bardock and Raditz come out with a power unbelievable. Bardock has surpassed Super Saiyan and is now on the reach of Super Saiyan 2. He never showed it. He was going to show it against the androids to flex on them, Saiyan pride. Raditz was still on SSG-1 because he was weaker, Bardock did have a lot of tricks on his sleeve. At the end, he was Bardock. And, that's basically Bardock's and Raditz training. Next is Vegeta and Trunks. Vegeta ended having a kid with Chi-Chi, and Vegeta and Trunks. Well, Bulma and Vegeta, Chi-Chi and Vegeta ended having a kid named Trunks, or would it be named Trunks? Think about it. It is Vegeta. It probably could be another Vegeta, but it is Chi-Chi after all. So I'm thinking his name would be Goten or Trunks. I'm going to go with Trunks. He has long hair, like the usual Trunks. And Vegeta trains with the future Trunks in the Hyperball Time Chamber for 2 days. And they come out, both in SSG Mastered. Raditz were going for SSG2, but didn't get it yet. That is 4 Saiyans. Next would go Nappa, Zarbon, and Dodoria together. There wouldn't be enough food, but let's just say that Zarbon and Dodoria, one of them doesn't eat. Probably. I think Zarbon, I don't think he would eat that much, so he would eat a little bit. Because Dodoria looks fat, so he would probably eat it a lot. So, they come out. Nappa and SSG Mastered. And only a few days passed. Only 6 days passed altogether. They have 3 years left. Each year they would go in the Highball Time Chamber. So they would train for a year, then go in the Highball Time Chamber again. They would train every year, Highball Time Chamber. That's only 2 years. The next year they train for a bit, for a year, Highball Time Chamber, out. Then Bardock is already in SSG 3 Mastered. And the others, except Zarbon and Dodoria, have like a new form. Zarbon could make perfection of his weird buff form, or huge weird form. But anyways, he would have SSG3 mastered, and his gi would probably, I don't know, maybe be prepared or better, or he would have the same gi maybe. Anyways, he does have SSG3. Raditz has SSG2. Well, everybody, the Saiyans has SSG2. Gohan is 8 now, and he would train a bit. His father would train him. Gohan would train with the others in the year gap, or he would train with Trunks together. But yeah, that's basically it. The androids do arrive, and they take care of that easily. Cell arrives, they take care of that as well, beating everybody. And that is it. Now, guys, I'm going to give you a hard one. 8 likes for a part 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Blue King, I'll be out. Peace.